Hello there. I'm David Attenborough, filling in for your regular host Amelia, who will be back with you tomorrow. Today, we have a rather exciting journey ahead of us. We're not just going to make homemade crisps, but we're also going to share an enchanting tale about a character named Miss Belle Pum and her friends. Now, this isn't your ordinary culinary journey. It's a delightful blend of storytelling and cooking, a recipe that promises to leave you entertained and well-fed. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this culinary adventure together. Ever wondered how to make your own homemade crisps? Well, today we're going to do just that. Our recipe is quite simple. All you'll need is 500 grams of your favorite potatoes, half a litre of water, a litre of vegetable oil for frying, and a pinch of salt. If you're feeling adventurous, you can also add some optional seasonings like paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, or your favorite herbs. So, gather these ingredients and let's jump right into the process. First off, we start with the preparation. Clean and peel your potatoes. Now, whether you're a fan of skin-on crisps or prefer them peeled, that's entirely up to you. Once that's done, we're going to slice these spuds thinly, aiming for a thickness of about 1 to 2 millimeters. A mandolin slicer is perfect for this job, but a sharp knife and a steady hand will do just fine too. Now, why so thin, you might wonder? Well, thinner slices ensures a quicker cooking time and a crispier end result. Once sliced, we're going to give these potato slices a good soak in cold water. This helps to remove any excess starch, which can cause your crisps to stick together during frying. Soak them for at least 30 minutes and then dry them thoroughly. We want to ensure there's no moisture when we're frying to avoid any unexpected splatter. Once your slices are dry, we're ready to move on to the frying. Now let's heat up that oil. Remember, the temperature is key here. You're aiming for a toasty 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. If you have a thermometer handy, now is the time to use it. Once your oil is hot and ready, it's time to introduce your potato slices. Do this in small batches to prevent overcrowding. We're not aiming for a potato party in there, just a nice leisurely fry. Give each batch a good 2 to 3 minutes in the oil or until they've reached a gorgeous golden brown. After their oil bath, use a slotted spoon to fish out your crisps and let them drain on a paper towel. This will help to absorb any excess oil and keep your crisps nice and crispy. Now, while they're still warm, it's time for the fun part, seasoning. A sprinkle of salt is a must, but feel free to experiment with other flavors. Paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, herbs, the world is your flavor oyster. Now all that's left is to enjoy your homemade crisps. While our crisps are cooling down and absorbing the flavors of the seasoning, let's take a short break from the kitchen and dive into an amusing and unexpected tale. This story revolves around a peculiar character called Miss Belle Pum, best known for her distinctive approach to gardening and her unconventional culinary experiments. Miss Belle Pum was an eclectic character, known for her whimsical nature and a penchant for the bizarre, which often manifested in her unique food concoctions. Once upon a time, in the quiet and unassuming town of Rosendale, where she resided, she was gardening for her dear friends, Hauve, Pole, Nuddles and Zoe. Hauve, a motherly figure made of candy floss, seemed to be surrounded by a sweet, comforting aura. Pole, a male polar bear, was gentle and kind, and Nuddles, a female golden bear, was known for her golden heart. And then there was Zoe, who was also made of candy floss, a friendly and bubbly character. One sunny day, while working in their gardens, Miss Belle Pum started an unusual, even scandalous rumour. She began to insist that adding hair shavings to cakes could intensify the flavour, giving them a richer and more layered taste. She claimed this was an age-old secret, passed down through generations. It was a peculiar claim, to say the least, and it caused quite the stir among her friends. They laughed and scoffed, yet there was a part of them that wondered about the truth of it all. Quite the prankster, wasn't she? But her culinary adventures were far from over. During a surprise visit from the distinguished Sir Arlington, Miss Belle Pum found herself in the midst of a baking frenzy. In the midst of the chaos, she accidentally mixed up the ingredients and added used nappies instead of flour to the cake recipe. The result was, as you can accurately guess, a disaster. The cake was abominable, with a unique aroma that drove Sir Arlington to tears. It was clear that this was a culinary experiment gone horribly wrong. But the misadventures didn't end there. Pole, our beloved polar bear, in his naive innocence, allowed Sir Arlington to get sick into some ice cube trays. Unaware of the mishap, they were later used in a refreshing drink. Later, when Sir Arlington was back to his usual health, he was served a glass of lemonade with these contaminated ice cubes. The aftermath was nothing short of a disaster. It was a sight that remains etched in everyone's memory, an unpleasant image best left unimagined. This intriguing tale serves to underscore an important point, that experimentation is indeed crucial in the kitchen. It is this sense of adventure and curiosity that leads to delightful culinary creations. However, it is equally important to remember the boundaries, to keep things safe and edible. This story of Miss Belle Pum's culinary misadventures stands as a hilarious reminder of this balance. Despite the mishaps, it does bring a smile, doesn't it? Now, with the amusing tale of Miss Belle Pum in our minds, let's return to our kitchen. I'm sure the crisps are now perfectly cooled down, their flavors matured and intensified. Shall we get back to our crisps? And there you have it. You've just made your own homemade crisps. Let's recap. We peeled and sliced the potatoes, soaked them to remove any extra starch, then dried them off thoroughly. The potato slices were fried in vegetable oil until they reached a golden brown perfection. And finally, while still warm, we seasoned them to our liking. Try this out, experiment with different seasonings, and most importantly, enjoy the crisp crunch of your homemade snack.